Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Love. I hope everyone is doing great. So in today's video, as you can see from the title, I will be discussing one of the safest indirect routes to travel to Canada. It is not only one of the safest but one of the cheapest and the legal route to come to Canada right now from India or from any other country. So in my previous videos, I shared all the safest indirect routes to come to Canada right now from India or Pakistan or other countries, because we know that Canada has banned all the direct flights from India. So in today's video, I will be discussing one of the routes, which is via Muscat. So the route is basically from India to Muscat to Frankfurt to Toronto, and I will be discussing this route in details. We'll cover all the details, all the documents. Also, I will be sharing experience of two students who actually used this route and came to Canada recently, safely and successfully. So one of them came 2 weeks ago, the other guy came yesterday. So we'll have which is on 17th June. So we'll have the most recent information regarding their travel experience through this indirect route, and as well as their experience in immigration in Canada, and what documents they carried and what documents did the immigration officers actually ask them. So you guys will know exactly what documents you need to carry. More interestingly, one of the guys also was exempt from the hotel quarantine. So how was that and what documents he showed for that? We will be discussing that as well. And moving on, I will also be telling you guys the most recent updates by federal government here in Canada, like what new updates have come and some updates regarding VFS in India. Lastly, I will also be answering some of your questions, some of your guys' questions that you asked me in the comments, which were very important. So I will be covering those at the end of the video. So this video will be very informative. Make sure you guys watch it till the end, and do subscribe to the channel for more videos like these. And without wasting any time, let's begin the video. Okay, so I will begin by sharing the details of the route with you guys. So this, as you can also see on the side of the screen, I have an example from one of the tours company that was sent to me by someone. So this is an example from Aman Tours, as you can see on the screen as well. So fly to Canada via Muscat. This will include all the details for your travel, and then we'll move on and I'll share the experience of students. So as you can see, it shows what your tour package will include: the flight tickets, 8-hour stay at a hotel on transit in Muscat, 2 meals at the hotel in transit, RT-PCR test, the express one in Muscat, traveling insurance, and so on. The hotel details. So this is the example of one of the hotels. So it's the Aeriotel Hotel 4-star. That's the check-in date, that was on 2nd June. So this is an example from 2nd June, and the stay duration was of 8 hours until the test result comes. And then these flights are available from Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, and even from Chennai. So it is available in most of the major cities in India. And the route is basically, so for example, let's take the example from Mumbai. So you will take a flight, the airlines is Oman Airways. So this is an example of 2nd June. So you fly from Oman Airways from Mumbai to Muscat. You depart at 10:30 p.m, arrive at 11:40 p.m. And then on the 3rd June from Oman Airways, same Oman Airways, you take a flight from Muscat to Frankfurt, departing at this time, arriving at this time. And then from Frankfurt you have a halt of around 7 hours, and then you take a flight from Frankfurt to direct to Toronto via Air Canada, and you got the PCR testing then at Muscat airport itself. And you follow the same route via Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai as well. Now it shares that, of course, the tours and travel companies won't take responsibility in case your PCR test comes out to be positive. One of my friends who traveled via Ethiopia, his result came out positive, but that only happened because the test result was false positive. So what that means is he was not really positive, but the test result came out positive. It was a false positive, and what he did was he took another COVID test again from a different center that time in Ethiopia, and at that time he got his test result negative. So again, if you guys travel via any of these indirect routes and face like positive, if you get like a positive result, I would definitely recommend get another COVID test done, just in case the first one was a false positive, and that could really save a lot of money. But in case it comes out to be positive, you might have to quarantine in that indirect route, and then they will send you back to India after isolation is completed. And the cost, this company shares the cost around 1,44,000, and this is the average cost. The other students who traveled also paid around 1 to 1.5 lakhs each. And then special note, the documents that they share are a scanned copy of passport, Canada visa, and PAN card, and availability is on first come first served basis. Then you need to have a negative PCR test from India 48 hours before arriving in Muscat. So you need to keep that in mind. If you're flying via Muscat, you need to have the COVID RT-PCR test from India within 48 hours of flight arrival to Muscat. And then so this was basically the entire explanation of the route. Like, this is how the route will look like. And now moving on, and I will be sharing this experience of students who traveled. So let's go ahead and talk about that now. So you will also see on the side of the screen, while I called these students and I was actually talking to them on the phone, and while talking I made notes on the side as well. So the first one traveled from Mumbai, paid 1.44 lakhs. So his route was Mumbai to Muscat to Frankfurt to Toronto. Like he said, very smooth immigration, not many questions. In Mumbai, so what happened to him in Mumbai? So he needed a compulsory Canada hotel booking, RT-PCR test, LOA, and they issue you tickets. What this means is the hotel quarantine rule is still in effect. Yes, that's true. It's not going until July. So if you're looking to travel in June, the rule is still there. For July, there has not been any confirmation yet. The confirmation might be coming from Monday. Like on Monday, the federal government in Canada is announcing a few new updates, which I will be posting on my channel as well, so make sure you're subscribed. So the documents he had, like the hotel booking, RT-PCR test, LOA, and then they issued you tickets till Toronto. In Mumbai, so you're issued 3 boarding passes from Mumbai to Muscat, Muscat to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Toronto. And immigration in Mumbai, he had no issues, like nothing, like no confusing questions were asked. He took Oman Airways from Mumbai to Muscat, and then when he arrived in Muscat, the agents people were there with placards of agency. So he booked from like a particular agency. The other agency he said mentioned were like Ria Travels, Vishal Travels, and so on. They will be standing there with like the boards in the hand, like they're from Vishal Travels and so on. And so those people will take you directly to the RT-PCR testing center without wasting any time. So he went to the PCR testing place at 11 o'clock. It is within airport only. And then he had a layover and he had to wait until the test result came. He had a 14 hours layover in Muscat, where he was waiting for the results. He was waiting at the airport, and the ticket that he booked also included food, unlimited food, premium lounge, prime lounge in the airport. And he said like there were no issues at the airport at all. People were just like roaming free, so there was no issues in Muscat airport. When he got his test results, he took his flight from Muscat to Frankfurt via Oman Airways again. While boarding, they again checked his RT-PCR test taken at Muscat, and then he used his second boarding pass and took his flight to Frankfurt. He landed in Frankfurt at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then took his flight to Toronto at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that means his halt or layover in Frankfurt was only for 3 hours. He couldn't find a direct flight from Muscat to Toronto. So this is one of the routes that people follow: Muscat to Frankfurt to Toronto, and then from Frankfurt to Toronto you take the Air Canada flight. And then he said I got his luggage directly in Toronto airport, and then you go to the Air Canada transfer. They check your RT-PCR test again from Muscat, tell you the gate number, and flight to Toronto via Air Canada. And then flights were, like he's mentioned, flights were packed. People from India were traveling like full. The flights were not empty at all actually. He landed in Toronto at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. The security, so first he went through the security. So the security officers checked his RT-PCR test, and for him they didn't see it, but for others they were checking it. And they also got the declaration form, the health declaration form that the airlines give you, and the passport. And then the health officers, after that, they checked his LOA, RT-PCR test, quarantine plan, and the hotel booking. And then he had to go to CBSA officers. Over there at immigration, the CBSA officers asked for his RT-PCR test, LOA, which is your letter of acceptance, fee receipt, and then that's all. And then they gave him his study permit. After that, he had to go through the same thing, the on-arrival COVID testing. He got his home test kit from them, and then you have to do your home test kit on the 8th day now. So how to do that, I made a video about that as well. And then he said like no one asked much about his 11-day quarantine. He decided that he will share that quarantine with his friends in a private room, but no one really asked about it. And the only thing they asked is like at the friend's place that no person should be above the age of 65. So that's pretty much it. They didn't ask any written proof. For one important thing that he mentioned, that the CBS officer didn't really ask for a proof of his friend's place, that if he will be staying there for 11 days or not, but they did end up taking the student's Indian number as well as his friend's Canadian number, in whose place he was planning to do the quarantine. After that, he said he took the hotel shuttle. He's staying in Holiday Inn. He checked in and he said that the room was good. One thing that he also shared, like in terms of tips, was that his credit card didn't really work from India while he was booking the hotel, so that declined. So he had to pay like $100 when he arrived at the hotel. So again, the tip is that make sure you carry some spare cash with you as well, just in case of an emergency. You will need the cash in Canada, and you will also need it maybe in the layover city as well, in case you're hungry and you need to buy food. And like he said, hundreds of Indians were traveling together to Canada, so it was pretty safe and pretty good. Moving on, talking about the second student's experience who arrived yesterday. So his experience was a little bit different, but okay. So as you can see on the side of the screen, he mentioned, I reached Canada yesterday, 17th June, same route, Mumbai, 16th June to Muscat, to Frankfurt, to Toronto. So he reported at 6 a.m. at Mumbai airport for bag check-in, then towards immigration. So at Mumbai immigration, they asked him for his college letter, which is the letter of acceptance, visa and passport. That's all. Then there was nothing else. He reached Muscat around 11:40 a.m. Muscat time. Directly, same thing, he went for the RT-PCR testing, double test, nose and tongue, and just 2 to 3 hours before his next flight, they got their results. Then he took a flight to Muscat to Frankfurt. Nothing asked at Frankfurt. Like both students mentioned that at Frankfurt airport, no one really asked anything. They just checked the PCR test result and they didn't question them at all. Then he took his flight to Toronto around 12:40 p.m. EDD, and then again via Air Canada. First document verified, the health declaration form which was given by Air Canada. Declaration form which the airlines give you, again, is very important. Just you're declaring your baggage stuff, like what you're carrying in the bags, and your health and your personal information. And then the normal queue related to food in bag and all. And then he proceeded towards the public health department. He showed his positive RT-PCR test and got exemption from hotel. Now this is important. So this guy was got COVID positive in India, so he showed his positive RT-PCR and got exemption from the hotel. So yes, if you were COVID positive before traveling to Canada within 14 to 90 days, you will be exempt from hotel quarantine. So make sure, I hope you guys know about this. And then his main target study permit, there was a long line, and they did ask for why he came to Canada and on what basis, like the college name, course and college admission letter. He gave them the whole file, which included the IRCC's letter, the letter of introduction, college letter, fee receipt, GIC enrollment, he had the GIC and all. And then he got his study permit, and then he was safely able to go to his 14-day place of quarantine. He didn't even have to do an honorable testing because he was exempt from the hotel quarantine. Moving on, talking about the major updates that have recently been coming by the federal government in Canada as well as by the VFS. So the first update, as you can see on the screen, the biometric, this is an important update for people in India. The biometrics enrollment is starting from June 21st for only students, that is people who have applied under the study permit category from June 21st. Now you will be able to request for your biometrics appointment. For now, it's only for students, and sooner they will start accepting biometrics appointment for other categories as well. The second major update is that came from Canada is that yes, they are actually bringing the vaccine passport rule very soon. They did give a lot of hints today, and the first thing that they mentioned was like, first they'll try and link the vaccine certificates to the ArriveCan app. So that is important. When you come to Canada, you fill out the ArriveCan app and they will link it to the ArriveCan app. You can fill your information and just upload the vaccination certificate in the ArriveCan app. It has not been confirmed. They did say that they will be announcing all of this officially on coming Monday, which is 21st of June. So stay tuned. Whenever they announce that, I will make sure to post it, so do subscribe for that. And lastly, that was pretty much about the major updates. Now I will be answering some of the questions that you guys asked me in the comment sections, which are very important. And if you want me to answer your question, you can leave it down in the comments or message me on any social medias, and if it's important, I will make sure to cover it in the next video as well. And let's begin the questions. First question is, if someone is positive, COVID positive before 14 days of traveling, then also he needs the 3-day hotel quarantine. So like I mentioned in the video, if you were COVID positive before coming to Canada and you have the positive report, you will be exempt from the 3-day hotel quarantine. Even if the rule stays or not, you won't have to do the 3-day hotel quarantine. You can directly go to your 14-day place of quarantine. Second question is, I took 2 doses of Covishield but gave my Aadhaar as ID proof. Would this be an issue while traveling to Canada? Not really, but since they're saying your passport must be linked to the vaccination certificate, so for this, the best solution that I can suggest you guys is to contact the center directly from where you got the vaccination and let them know that you're traveling abroad and you need your passport number to be linked to it, so they can actually make a certificate or link your second dose with your passport number and give you that new certificate just for you to travel to Canada. The third question was, hello, any updates on when they implement new quarantine rules? So like I mentioned, most likely these rules will be implemented from July. The major updates are coming Monday, 21st of June, so stay tuned. I will be sharing those updates with you guys very soon. What could those changes be? I already made a video about that as well, so you guys can check out that video as well. Next question is, support letter compulsory to travel via Mexico? So this is another route which I will be covering in another video. This is also one of the safest routes. My college is not issuing them. So to tell you guys in a brief, the support letter, travel support letter, is not mandatory to travel to Canada even through any indirect route. As long as you have the college letter of acceptance, fee receipt, and other necessary documents, you won't need a travel support letter to come to Canada. No one will ask you for that. Next question, which was also asked to me by many students, is, hey bro, I got both shots of Covaxin, but I came to know that Covaxin is not approved by Government of Canada. What to do? So only 4 vaccines are currently approved in Canada, which is Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, which is Covishield, and Johnson & Johnson. So if you've taken Covaxin, which is not approved in Canada, so in this case, you don't have to worry about it at all. In this case, what would happen is you will be considered as unvaccinated person who is traveling to Canada. And if the hotel quarantine rule changes, the only thing that will happen is you might have to do the quarantine because you will be considered as unvaccinated in that case. But that doesn't mean they will stop you from coming to Canada. You will still be allowed to travel to Canada. Next, if people, so this is also a very important question, especially about this particular route. So he asked, if people are not getting tested in Frankfurt airport, how are they able to justify it to the immigration, because the last place they are traveling from is Frankfurt, right? And if so, why can't we travel directly from Delhi to Frankfurt and Frankfurt to Toronto? So to answer this question, it's very important. So I actually read about this rule and I did confirm with the officers as well. So when they say like you need to have a PCR testing from the third country, that means when you're coming to Canada, number one thing, the PCR testing should be from a third country, and that should be within 72 hours of your arrival to Canada. So it doesn't have to be like the last airport or last city you traveled from, but it has to be from a third country other than India or Pakistan, and has to be valid within 72 hours. So that's why if you take your COVID test from Muscat and then you go to Frankfurt, stay there for 4 hours and then to Canada, that will still be okay. And direct flight to Frankfurt and to Toronto is not allowed because Frankfurt doesn't really have any PCR testing available at the airport. Next question, any predictions when the VFS will reopen? Though like I said, on the 21st of June the biometrics are reopening, so this is a very good and a positive sign. That means VFS could actually be starting to reopen once the travel ban is removed. And I personally and honestly think that things like VFS, travel, everything will start to reopen like by July, mid-July, and like by the end of July everything will be open and completely fine. The last question for today is, hi, is it okay if I book my hotel online, like not through the RCC websites but directly on the website of the hotel instead of calling, and if I use my dad's credit card to pay for the 3 nights? So yes, you can book directly from the hotel's website as well. Make sure you choose the GAA, which is the government price to book the hotel for 3 nights for right now, because the hotel quarantine is still there. And yes, you can use someone else's credit card as well. It doesn't have to be in your name, and you do not need to carry the same credit card to Canada. You can also like just mention the details online, but an important tip for this would be to carry at least a different credit card or some cash in case the first card doesn't work. So this will really help you guys. So yeah, that was it for today's video, guys. I do hope you guys find this video useful, helpful, it answered your question. If you did, guys, make sure to leave a like to the video, do subscribe to the channel for more videos, and do leave a like to the video, and do drop down your comments so I can cover that. Most likely I will be covering that in the next video as well. And as always, stay safe, stay inside, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.